Hey folks, Koji Guy here, and I'm just gonna commentate this Mushihimesama playthrough and kind of talk about how I fell out of love with this game. Let's just let's just begin. I picked up Mushihimesama for the Switch back in whenever it came out. I think that was 2021, probably in the summer, and I really enjoyed it. I that was 2020 was kind of the first year where I started to play shmups, I guess, seriously, and started to clear shmups. And in 2021 with Mushihime-sama, I was quite excited to finally get into a cave game. So this was my first cave game clear, and I'm not going to talk much about stage one because there's not really much to talk about. I really enjoyed it. I actually really like this is original mode. I really like the fast-paced bullets. I like the fast movement. It's got a unique feel to it that I really enjoyed. I can definitely see how this was originally going to be a very kind of Toa Plan style shmup. And anyways, back in 2021, I cleared the game, and I was going to upload that clear, but there was some kind of issue with recording replays in the Switch version of the game. I think it was like if you pause the game, it would desync your replay. Anyways, I didn't know what was wrong with it. My replay save did not work, and it had me dying on like the stage 2 boss. So I didn't know what to do. I kind of dropped the game. I played other stuff and didn't really think about it. And then I was actually watching YouTube. This would have been, honestly, even this was a while ago. This was 2023. And I saw Hazy Levels put out a great video about Mushi. And I kind of thought, oh yeah, I cleared that game. I should I should play it again and upload that clear. And they had released a patch so that the replay functionality was no longer broken. So I got down to it and I said, you know what? I like this game enough. If I'm gonna do another replay, right? Because usually I like to upload my grimy first clears so that people can see when a game is recoverable. They can see me make mistakes. I think that's just more interesting. I thought, well, maybe I just go for a no miss. I think I should just go for a no miss and upload the no miss. And that was my mistake. So I'll spoiler warning now. This is not a no miss clear. This is probably just as grimy as my first clear, and that's because I played and played and played Mushi trying to get the no miss, and I just kept running into issues, usually like stage 5 deaths that were very annoying or avoidable, or stage 3 deaths that were very annoying or avoidable. And after a while playing the game that much, I started to really fall out of love with it, for a number of reasons. I'll talk about them. So here I'm in stage 2, and stage 2, if I remember correctly, I've got pretty locked down. It's a decent enough stage. The mid boss is fun to try to speed kill to get more enemy spawns, and it's pretty straightforward. I am using the super shot. I like S power, and I like the options kind of spread around me. And I don't really change from doing that throughout the run. If at any point I do, it was likely a mistake. So, yeah, I will say stage 1 in this game is one of the reasons that I fell in love with it. It is not a fun or interesting stage. It's not a terrible stage, but there's not a lot interesting going on in it. And it gets pretty repetitive and not that it's just not exciting. And I play a lot of shmups, played a lot of shmups for a long time, and it's just got a certain, it's the stage you just have to get through for the game to really start, which is a shame. Um, Challenge isn't there, and there's not much scoring wise either to try to have some fun with it. This boss I actually quite enjoy. I mean, it's a weird boss to route, like, but it's fun. It's got some tension to it, some interesting patterns to dodge, and yeah, stage two, it's fine. Like, it's a decent stage. I've got it pretty locked down. The boss is fine. But stage 3 is really, to me, the worst part of the game, and a real slog of a stage. Like, stage 1 I don't really like, but you kind of just go through the motions of it. Stage 2 is fine, and then stage 3 is very repetitive. And this is where the game, to me, starts to feel like a Total Plan game in a way that I don't like. A lot of, here's an enemy coming from the left, here's an enemy coming from the right, here's an enemy coming from the left, here's an enemy coming from the right, and then just repeating those patterns. And then because it's got this whole concept of destroying a battleship, it inherently becomes more repetitive as you destroy the left side, and then you destroy the right side, and then you destroy the left side, and then you destroy the right side. And there's not even a whole lot that's necessarily super challenging, but it's also just strict enough that if you kind of aren't paying full attention, a really fast bullet can snipe you, and then, you've wasted, I don't know what it might be, like 5 or 6 minutes, which doesn't seem like a lot, but you've wasted 2 stages of play in your run, and if you're trying to get a no miss, you reset on stage 3. And yeah, it just started to like drive me nuts. And Mushi isn't the only shmup that has this kind of reset syndrome, but there's something about this stage that just started to grind on me after a while, and it's part of the reason that I just dropped getting the no miss clear. And honestly put the game down. Like, I got a clear, and I said, you know what? It's grimy, it's dirty, but like, it's good enough. I will also say a big part of the reason that I will even take hits in this run is because I was being pretty, I guess, stubborn about not wanting to use bombs. Because it is pretty fun to dodge stuff, and I wanted to save and stock my resources, but I really didn't need to. Especially if I'm just trying to get a clear. I don't know why I was thinking this way. And that, I will say, to the game's credit, that mentality was 100% hurting my enjoyment of it. And, that's on me. But I also just, like, even with bombs to make this, like, there's parts of the stage, I'm actually curious, because I haven't watched this replay in a while. I'm curious if I bomb there's a section in the middle here, where there's just like a big circular explosion of bullets that come up pretty fast, and it's entirely dodgeable, but if I want to make it 100% consistent, I might just recommend people dodge it, or bomb it, sorry, and not try to raw dodge it. And then there's also, there's that. Yeah, I just bomb it, which is good, that's fine. And then there's this section. This is another section that would also drive me up the walls a little bit. It's a little bit of tricky dodging, because I could have 100% bombed this section, and maybe I do in this run, but I was so convinced that, I need to not bomb this section. I need to get the one up without bombing. And there, I just bombed, because even though I did have it routed to not bombing, I would get all the way to stage 3, think I knew it, get inconsistent with it, and just get pissed off. So, yeah, I think at this point I can tell. I had cleared it a few times, multiple times by now, and I think at this point I had just given up on getting the no miss, and I went like, screw it, I'm just gonna bomb my way through and hope that I can get the no miss. But look at this is another one. I practiced this boss a lot so that I could do it without bombing. I got slightly off route, and if you get slightly off route in this game, it can be pretty difficult to recover. And a lot of that, I think, just has to do with how the bullet patterns are designed with the speed that they're coming at you. So I had to use 2 bombs on that, which I was not happy about. But that's fine. That's how you got to play these games. So yeah, stage 3. Like I said, I figured out how to do it consistently with bombs. It's still not a stage that I necessarily enjoyed. Now here's a stage that I absolutely adore. I love this stage. The music's great. I think I changed this one stage to the Arrange soundtrack. Because the music is so good. The shooting is fun, the dodging is fun. I mean, it's got this pacing to it that's just awesome. There's always something interesting going on. And it's fun to route. Like, all the popcorn enemies are doing stuff. Like, you have to keep your eyes on all these enemies that are firing tons of bullets, that are clinging onto walls and stuff. You've got these larger enemies that you have to focus on. It's just got this flow to it that is kind of unique and interesting. And the music plays into the flow. This sub-boss, I remember... Oh, I guess it is. I am consistent with it. I remember there being just like a kind of a safe spot with it. Yeah, and the speed of this is just like awesome and fun, and you're zipping around the screen. And honestly, this is I haven't watched this run in a minute. This is a pretty good run. Oh, there it is. I would have been mad about that. But that's like, I could have bombed that. I think I was getting a little cheeky. Even bombing in this game can kind of like... You saw there how I bombed that mid-boss, and when the bomb had stopped canceling bullets, all of a sudden bullets were flying at me, and it's pretty hard to react to because it's a pattern that's appearing mid-pattern instead of you actually getting the full warning of the bullets, kind of telegraphing where they're going to go. So you got to be careful when you're bombing in this game. You really want to bomb in a way that's going to hopefully end a boss phase, not do it in the middle of one, or not do it at the start of one where you have to react to one in the middle. Of course, we got the famous centipede dragonfly things. I think these are a pretty cool thing to dodge. That was 100% spaghetti, but like it worked. Yeah, stand in the corner there. I think I got off route on this because I've got this pretty figured out from what I remember. But yeah, the music, the flow of this is just so cool, and this feels very unique. It's a shame that the stage before it is just such a slog. In my opinion, hey, if you love stage 3, like, sound off in the comments and tell me why it rules. And then this boss, it took some practice to get consistent with. That pattern is just like so fast. I also don't think I had the best setup for playing this game because of the bullet speeds. If you have and it's on Switch, if you've got, if you don't have a decent arcade stick with good latency, and if you don't have a good TV or monitor with latency, I don't know, some of that stuff might seem like you have to just memorize it. I don't think you need to. But yeah, I mean, that was a pretty clean, except for having to bomb. And so now we're heading to stage 5, which is also an awesome stage. I haven't spent a ton of time playing Mushi Futari, but what I have spent of it, this stage feels like Mushi Futari. It feels like this kind of inspired that whole game. And this is where it all falls apart. Like, I just take stupid hits on stuff where if I get slightly off route, you know, doing this consistently is a tricky thing. And there's one. And then of course it's easy to start tilting as far as the mental game of playing a shmup. And to start panicking or things like that. But it is a very fun stage, and it's one where, like in practice, you can do it pretty consistently. But if you get slightly off route, there's so many aim bullets and there's so many fast bullets. You can get locked out of stuff. It can get tricky. And yeah, it started to definitely frustrate me. There's another one. And again, if I'd have just bombed, it wouldn't have even been a problem. But I don't think that would have necessarily changed how I feel about the game, unfortunately. Because, ultimately, what it is it's a 5-stage game with 2 stages that I like. And I'm not a big fan of this sub-boss. It's also pretty difficult to get consistent. I did have it for a while, but again, if I get off route like that, I just say fuck it, bomb it. I don't know why I didn't bomb that pattern, but there it is. Yeah, and this is such a fun, cool part. Because it really feels like, not quite like a war of attrition, but just like you're in this constant state of being overwhelmed and pushing back, and overwhelmed and pushing back. And it's fun. I mean, in a way, it kind of reminds me of how in the OG Darius, or in, I guess the widescreen Darius games, with shot limits, you're getting pushed back to the edge of the screen and you're trying to fight to reclaim screen territory. Here it's just you're getting surrounded by bullets. You need to find cancels. You need to take out some of these pretty tanky enemies that are just filling the screen with really fast bullets. And now this is a section that I actually did. Or no, I think it's the next time those. Oh, there's another mistake. Last life now. Just lost everything in stage 5, which is annoying. But I feel like it's cool to show. Like, it's still very doable. This area here, I was able to do that consistently, but that death got me off route, and then it was just like spaghetti zone again. And then we've got the final boss here, which I'm not like, I don't know, this boss isn't super exciting to me, gameplay wise, pattern wise. Definitely just bomb that. That's the thing. I mean, I guess that's something that happens in a lot of cave games, is once you get to the end, if you've got bombs in stock, it's like optional to actually play the boss. You can, or you can just like bomb the hell out of them. I guess I had limited bomb stock for this guy though, so that ending pattern is pretty tricky for me at least. But there it was. There's the clear. Not a great clear, not even my best clear, but a clear for sure. And yeah, I think this is the first time that I really loved a game and then played a ton of it. And the more I tried to get the no miss, the less I liked it. And then I just kind of got filtered and decided not to do the no miss. Because, I have been trying to do a one credit clear of Gun Frontier, or I was last year, and I stopped because I got pretty filtered by that game. But I intend to come back to it. I don't know if I'm going to come back to Mushi. At least if I do, I won't come back to original. I think I'd like to try the other modes. And really, more than anything, I'd rather just move on to Futari. But yeah, that's my Mushi original clear, and kind of why I fell out of love with this game. I'm interested in your takes. Do you love this game? Do you think it's a good shmup for beginners? Do you think it's, I don't know, underrated, overrated? I'd love to hear people's thoughts on this, because I know that I'm not the only one who has a little bit of mixed feelings on Mushi Original. And I still think it's a good game. Don't get me wrong. I don't regret having played it, but I was just surprised at how quickly I soured on it when I started trying for the no miss, and dropped that pretty quick. Anyways, that's it. There's the clear. Let me know what you think of it. And I will say, if you are looking for a beginner shmup, I'd say this is... I wouldn't say this is the best beginner shmup, but it's a nice stepping stone on the way to some of the harder clears. And it is fun. I do think it's a fun game. So I'm still thinking you should check it out. Anyways, that's all. Thank you all so much, and chat soon.